Hello and welcome to the 2022 summer season of Different Leaf, a show for new and experienced cannabis consumers. I'm Brit Smith. This season, we're going to be talking all about cannabis travel and tourism. If you head on over to differentleaf.com under the subscribe and shop tab, you can buy the gorgeous and vibrant new summer issue of Different Leaf the magazine, which has a ton of great articles about how and where to travel to experience really good weed and cannabis culture, what you should know as a tourist trying weed in a foreign place, and much more. This episode, we're kicking off summer in the heart of southern Maine, at one of the only 420-focused campgrounds in the nation, Camp Laughing Grass, located on the edge of the scenic Crooked River in the historic resort town of Harrison, Maine. Camp Laughing Grass was opened in 2019 by entrepreneur Trinity Madison, who found a perfect spot to set up camp tucked away in a private 17-acre riverfront forest bordered by beautiful scenic wetlands. Camp Laughing Grass has tent sites and glamping sites, which is a very upscale version of camping, and cabins, all of which are named something weedy, like Granddaddy Purple Cabin and the Northern Lights glamping site and the White Widow Cabin. Camp Laughing Grass is less than an hour inland from Portland, Maine, so it's near lots of top-notch cannabis companies, some of which even make daily deliveries to camp. On top of enjoying nature under the influence of your favorite strain, at Camp Laughing Grass you also get to dig into a breakfast wake and bake and an afternoon 420 session with your fellow cannabis campers. Over the past few years, Trinity has welcomed countless 420 appreciators and cannabis-curious travelers from all over the country who wanted to kayak, fish, stargaze, and camp while freely and openly enjoying some of the East Coast's finest locally grown weed with like-minded folks. We'll be back to chat with Trinity after this quick break. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for getting in contact. This is exciting. This is my first podcast.
So, Trinity, tell me a little bit about your background. What did you start off doing? I don't believe it was like launching a cannabis campground straight from scratch. How did you get here?
I'm 43, so it took me a while to get here. I have a really strange past. I'm really proud of where I've come from. I was on the streets as a kid, so being homeless till I was like 23, and then like slowly creeping out of the hole. And I made jewelry for 17 years. I made hemp jewelry and wire wraps and silversmithing and stuff like that. And I made hemp jewelry, and if you knew me, I made edibles. So my storefront was all jewelry, but if you knew me, my back was all edibles. Probably in 2012, 2014, I realized my edibles were making me a lot more money than my jewelry, and there were enough legal states out there, and there was enough way to tell people what you were doing. So I just kind of stopped making jewelry and started making edibles. In 2012, I think is when I started making edibles full time. And then by 2015, I moved up to Maine.
Where were you before that? What state were you in?
I moved around a lot. So I was in Florida when I first started doing the edibles. And then it was doing really well. I moved up to Philly. Philly was great. Philly is such a great town.
Were you born and raised in Florida?
No, I was born and raised in New York. So I was homeless. I've been everywhere. I've been all over the country. From the time I was 17 until 23, I just kind of bummed around the country.
Wow. Okay, so who taught you how to make edibles?
I was with Rainbow Family, and they're all like these hippy dippy, and I was taught how to wash weed and how to make edibles without like the chlorophyll flavor and stuff like that. So my edibles were, even before I started making them from like hash rosin and concentrate, my edibles tasted a little better.
You had an edge.
I had an edge.
That's amazing. So you brought your talents back north up to Philly, and then how did you figure Maine would be your next stop?
So looking at the laws, what states offer what, Maine has the best caregiver and personal grow laws. The medical laws here, I get to say out now because I'm a resident, but the medical laws here are the best in the entire country. There's no one that can touch Maine. That's what drew me here.
So the medical laws up there, I don't know them super well. I'm in Massachusetts, so I know our laws have been some of the slowest in the country. But in Maine, I understand that it's like caregivers essentially can sell to any patients. Is that kind of how they do it?
Correct.
So you could sort of start like a legitimate business up there.
I did. I moved up here. I waited the 2 years and then I opened up my edible company.
What's it called?
It was called Sensi Sweets Organic.
Sensi Sweets Organic. Cool. All right. If anybody out there knows of it, let me know how you thought. Apparently it was pretty good stuff. So Maine's cannabis scene now, you've been there like 7 or so years. You must have seen it change a lot. When did you start thinking like, I should open up a campground? This is exactly where folks want to come.
I came up here to do that. I acquired property with a friend. He got 50 acres on a mountaintop with a summit. And as soon as I got someone out to start excavating the property, he pulled the plug. He's like, I don't want to do this. I've changed my mind. And it was his property. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I've moved my whole life up to Maine. Like, I got to figure something out. This was in Cornish. So I partnered up with the owner at the time of the Cornish Inn, which is in beautiful 1700 historic livery from like way back in the day. I partnered up with him to host an event, a bed and breakfast event. We were going to do 3 weeks, all inclusive. We had the whole thing planned, lawyers and code and everything. And as soon as we announced it, the town freaked out.
Oh, no.
Our soft opening happened. Code came. They tried shutting us down, but everything passed. So we ended up moving forward with our soft opening. So 3 days after that, they had an emergency town meeting, passed a moratorium, made my business illegal, and the next day dropped the lawsuit on me.
Oh my good Lord. Wow, they really didn't like that.
So at that point, I had no more money to fight. I couldn't proceed. I had to refund everybody their money. So I took out a small loan because I had spent a bunch of the money that people had given me. So I took out a small loan. I paid everybody back. And honestly, I ran away to Florida for a little while because the town was mean. And it didn't matter where I went. People knew who I was. I needed to run away for a little while.
Yeah.
I found the property in Harrison. My friend actually, Raymond, I love you. He brought it to my attention. He's like, look at this property. He's like, we should open your camp. We bought it together in 2019 and I moved back up here and he helped me get it started, get it painted. I mean, you name it. He was right there.
Wow. And so now you guys have been going for like 3 years. You made it through the pandemic. Did people want to get away and come up to you guys during that time? Were you open?
Very much so. Because there wasn't a lot of places. The hotels weren't offering. All of our rooms are individual. We were able to stay completely COVID compliant and stay open. It was such a relief for people because they were just starting to open up like, okay, you can go out, but keep your distance, wash your hands, don't get close to people, don't share anything. And we had that ability to offer people.
I really wish I'd known about it in the pandemic. I was so sick of looking out the same windows, But to get away into nature, that's something else that a lot of folks want to do when they're sort of interested in traveling somewhere and not drinking. I think a lot of people are starting to switch over to cannabis. Even having like a cannabis soda is nice. Like my neighbor is just sober completely, but whenever he wants to go out to like see sports or to go camping or somewhere else like around a fire pit that you would just typically drink, now he can have a cannabis-infused seltzer instead. So it's like now that we've got like loads of different products available and there are places that we can go to actually enjoy cannabis and we can get outside in nature and do it all at the same time. Oh my gosh.
It drives me crazy. There's not more. I don't understand that there's a bar on every corner. There's a bar on every corner. You can go and drink yourself really silly and then get in your car and drive. But the thought of having a lounge where you can go and smoke your weed or have an edible or a campsite or a resort or a cafe. My original dream was a cafe. I'm an edible artist. I wanted a cafe. I wanted you to come in for 420 tea and have your edibles and just that really sort of like adorable old style cafe. I can open up a bakery where they can come and purchase and leave. But everyone has it. That wasn't my dream. I want to interact with people. I love the act of smoking with people. I love getting high with people. The community of it. There's a community.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you've turned it into like your life, your job, your whole world. is on this land. How much work does it take to maintain a big campground? I know that it's like leave no trace. Like folks take care of their own areas and they're pretty clean, but like, what about taking care of the rest of the land?
We upkeep the road, and make sure the road is passable and stuff like that. My area is wetlands. So we have to be very conscious of how we treat the land. The only time it's really difficult is when we expand. I added 3 more campsites this year. So if we want to take down a tree, I have to measure out the whole area. I have to measure individual trees. I have to make sure that I can take down that tree because the other trees are large enough with the circumference. They're very strict here, and I'm very happy to be here. So I'm very happy to stick by their rules and take the time and make sure the campsites are exactly how they need to be.
So now you've got a pretty welcoming community. I'm assuming that the town didn't put up too much of a fight. Did you face any legal issues, anything like that?
The state. So I'm in my 3rd year. I applied for campground status my very first year. Every year they deny me because of this violation. I don't qualify, and none of it has ever been true. So paying lawyers to write this variance and a lawyer to write this letter, and here I am again. I can't seem to get them to come to camp. Like, just come to camp. See, I'm all legal. Everything's fine. We're exactly how you need me to be.
So are you still sort of fighting that fight right now?
Yes. Now they don't want to know what building's what and what glamping's what. They want to know what I call them on the site. So if you go onto my website and you book Northern Lights, they want to know which one's Northern Lights. Each site labeled for them so they know what's what.
This is a lot of work you've got to put through. So are you legal at the moment?
I'm legal. Am I licensed yet? No. But my application's in. I've done all the steps.
Still fighting the good fight.
I'm trying.
Well, don't give up. It seems like something that a lot of people love.
No, I won't. We have a slush fund. If I go to jail, there's like cash put to the side. If they actually come and arrest me for some reason, they find a reason to arrest me.
This is something that a lot of cannabis-related companies have to deal with, is that sort of fear that you'll get shut down, or like your social media will get shut down, or something that you've worked on a long time will get shut down because you're associated with this plant. It's legal in the state. In fact, it's an incredibly friendly state to it. So it's weird that you're still having to fight all these fights.
So lounges are not legal anywhere. There's like 5 lounge permits in the whole country. There's no lounges. I found a loophole. A way around opening a quote unquote lounge. That's pissing people off.
That is a good point.
Whoops, sorry. Change your laws.
Let me ask you about who comes to you. Where do people come from?
Everywhere. California, Virginia, Georgia. Tons and tons of locals. Denver, Colorado, Austin, Texas, you name it. Missouri.
Are people coming with their own weed, or do they buy it locally?
No, mostly buy it locally. People email me a lot like, oh, what's it like? Should we bring our own weed? And my answer is always no. Because one, transporting it, it's too dangerous. Don't go through that. It's so much cheaper here. Our weed is so inexpensive and it's like the best quality in the country. Do not buy it. Get it here.
So you guys have cabins and you've got tents, and I already know the one that I want to get, and it's the Stargazer. Oh my gosh. So people are coming really from everywhere. Do you find that it's a lot of people that are coming from states where it's illegal still and they want to just get away and smoke?
We get illegal states and legal states, yeah. I don't think it matters whether you're from a legal state or illegal state. If you smoke weed, you smoke weed.
I would have more concern about it probably because I'm an immigrant and I will not smoke in states where it's not legal to smoke because of how much I've got to lose. But if you're a citizen here, I think the folks are like, whatever. So when people come there, they're obviously coming to sit and smoke and enjoy the nature that you can enjoy when you're high is so good. The leaves look cooler. The stars look better. What do people get up to when they come and stay with you for a couple of days?
So we're on the Crooked River. So it's a really beautiful, pretty shallow, very slow moving river. So kayaking, canoeing, swimming, fishing. We have trout in the river and we have salmon. They're running down, then they run in October. We have bike trails, we have cornhole, we have disc golf, we have horseshoe, tons of cannabis themed games like card games and board games. We do a wake and bake with our continental breakfast in the morning. And then we do like a 420 gathering in the afternoon.
That's so nice. So do folks tend to sort of get to know each other while they're staying there?
I love camp. So we opened, a couple years ago, people that come and then they're all spending a week together. Well, they plan their next year together.
Oh, that's so cool.
So we had people that met here last year or the year before that are coming back this year as a big group. And that is repeatedly happening. I'm getting chills. I love it so much. I had a whole bunch of ladies. Like there was one weekend, it was just all ladies that showed up. I think there was one guy the whole weekend. I got a text message, like a Facebook message from them, like 2 months later. They all went on vacation together.
Oh my gosh, you're creating community.
I get like goosebumps. I love that. I love camp.
Everybody loves, not everybody loves camping. Some people put up with glamping, but I love it.
We've had a few people show up that left. They're like, So we love what you're doing, but no.
Too much?
The bathroom not being in their room. Some people, they didn't realize the cabins, they're sheds. They're nice. They're insulated. The beds are nice. I've made the floors and the walls beautiful and everything's cute, but it's a shed. There's an AC in it. There's electric, but there's no private bathroom. There's no kitchen. So people are like,
forget it.
That's okay.
Yeah, but if you just have an edible and chill for a minute, maybe you'll be cool with it, right?
You just come here and smoke a joint with me. I promise it won't bother you.
You'll be fine. Well, that's one thing I really love. Like whenever I would go camping as a kid, some of my favorite memories are making friends with the kids who were camping next to me. And I know that this isn't yet a kid-friendly place, but I kind of dream one day of this being normal. Like I want to take my future kids camping with me, and it's okay if I take an edible or like some tincture or something. I want to normalize this, like having a drink was when we were kids. And you say that like alcohol's allowed there, but it's discouraged. Why did you choose to say that?
I'm encouraging the potheads. And in general, no offense to people who drink, but when you're high and you're sitting next to a drunk guy, more often than not, they're just obnoxious. They're kind of monopolizing the conversation, or they're being extremely loud, or sometimes they're getting rude. Yes, there are very happy drunks. And again, when you're inebriated in that manner, you're usually so different. I drink. It's not like I'm going to say I never drink. I'm a cheap date. I get drunk really easily. But in general, we like the potheads. It's not to say people don't drink. We get couples that show up where he or she is the pothead and he or she brought, some liquor or some wine or something like that. We're not against it, but we just want to remind people, if you're like the drinking type, this isn't the camp for you. There's tons of other camps to go to.
Yeah, right. This is like one of the only places like reserved for the stoner. Yeah, you're for the mellow folk. So are there any good nearby cannabis companies that you guys like partner with specifically? Because Maine has good weed everywhere. How do you pick what you take?
So picking is hard. Like I have my personal favorites, but I'm an edible person. I don't like to smoke weed. You very rarely see me actually burn. I'll do dabs and I'll do edibles. I have a volcano. Well, I'll happily smoke that, but it's rare for me to like smoke a bowl, smoke a joint, like a bong, something like that. Majority of people want to smoke weed. So asking me where to go is not always the best. We have a list of everything available in the area within like a 20-minute drive, both medical and recreational. I have a welcome booklet that's placed in your room or in your site, so you know where to go. We have Green Country Cannabis. They deliver to camp. So they're awesome. You can go on medical only, but you can go on, place their order with them. As long as it's in by 2:00, they deliver by 4:20 every day. They do daily deliveries. So people who don't even want to go anywhere, hang out, call them up, call up Green Country. They'll take care of you.
Oh my gosh, there's this whole little economy going on up there that is like nowhere else. I've never heard of that. I mean, you guys are like working to support each other in this little local cannabis community. That's so rad. Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have another company. I think it's a GRE. they're moving up to Harrison. They've bought their lot. They've gotten, their licensing and stuff like that. And we're Harrison. So I'm extremely excited to work with them. They want to be sponsors. They want in at camp. That's exciting because they're local. They're our town. And I love Harrison. I want to put Harrison on the map. People have heard of Naples. Everyone's heard of Naples. Everyone's heard of Bridgeton. You say Harrison, Maine, and people are like, where?
But it's not like super off the beaten path. I looked at it on the map and it's like, how far is it from Portland? It's like northwest.
50 minutes from Portland. But again, we're not in Portland. So we have Long Lake. We have the lakes area, lakes region. You have Sebago down below us and then Long Lake above us. Around Long Lake, you have Naples, Bridgeton, and Harrison. Naples and Bridgeton are really cute touristy areas, walkable downtowns, restaurants, galleries. They have the Songo Queen, which is like a tourist boat that'll take you all around Long Lake. They have the airplane, so you can get in a plane and fly off the water and fly around the area. Rentable jet skis, like all the fun touristy things you would expect in a lake region in Maine. Or hang out at camp, lazy river type day, go for a walk on our trails, use your bike, cornhole. It's all here.
Oh my goodness, my summer is set. Trinity. Yes, I'm super excited. Have you had anybody who has gotten just a little bit too high and been sort of silly, or any really good stories?
We've definitely had one or two people. We have a rig at camp, so you can do dabs, and you can do a lot with a dab. We had one guy throw up. I felt so bad. He was like, I'm fine. He couldn't stop coughing.
Those dabs hit hard. I've learned that recently.
Don't go easy, and I got this. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta learn the hard way sometimes. And the nice thing is, if you get too high, you've got some experienced folks around you.
I have CBD on site. I keep CBD concentrate on site. If for some reason, because if someone wants to get too high, obviously we have the CBD to come bring them down. We've never had to use it.
No, it's good to have on hand. I have the same thing just in my house, just in case I hit something and I'm like, whoops.
Yeah, CBD tincture, CBD dab, bring you right down. The paranoia, the uncomfortable, the speeding heart.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hopefully coming to visit you at some point soon.
I would love that. We'll put something on the books, girl.
I would love it. That would be so much fun, because I think the great thing about smoking and camping is that all your senses are heightened. And so you can really hear the birds and the bugs, and you can really see the colors, and you can really feel and smell everything. And yeah, I'm excited to get high in camp.
You're going to love the otters.
The otters?
Yeah, we have river otters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we have porcupines, we have beavers. I mean, every adorable little, I want to squishy creature is around camp. Turtles. Yeah. So you take the kayak out.
Oh, can I bring a dog?
You can. Yeah. We're pet friendly. My primitive sites are the only ones that are pet friendly. We don't allow dogs in the cabins and the glamping areas. We tried that.
Nah, not a good idea. Nah. All right.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Me and my pups are coming. Well, thank you so much, Trinity. It was so nice to talk to you.
It was really nice talking to you.
Thanks to this episode's guest, Trinity Madison from Camp Laughing Grass in Harrison, Maine. Be sure to check them out if you're in New England and fancy some smoky nights under the stars. They're open May through September. Next week, we'll be talking to Nathaniel Janowitz, reporter for Vice News, about the best and worst places to try marijuana in Central and South America.
Uruguay is a good place to go if you want to be totally legally smoking marijuana. They produce and sell the cannabis as a medicine. So if you want to buy the state-grown marijuana, you actually have to go to one of the designated pharmacies and buy it there.
Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you're listening right now, and be a love and give us a review. Follow us on social media at Different Leaf and at Different_Leaf, and I'm at Brit the British. Check out differentleaf.com, where you can purchase all the issues of Different Leaf the magazine, including the new summer issue all about cannabis travel and tourism. Or you can go to differentleaf.com to find a local retailer that sells Different Leaf in person. That's differentleaf.com.